Ayaatekire Chinsa Ikomi ya Kisi TV. Anchumurana mugoroba muyari twerigare Jumatatu tariki 19 cy'umutinyo gatano mwaka wigana manga berga kwanekigwa abigagende twanekigwa ime na isko yorogonguro gusikinga kiyo kabero mukonyi bumurayibwensi yakenya muskerigadi gashagwa akagero kwanera abakenya mugoroba rero kurwa asensemiyo togende konya kabatu kubwatya ayonsi kurwa ase kinsemo ime na isko yorogonguro gusi korene ukwarigane asensemeiga Ayaatekire Chinsa Ikomi cyabona mugoroba nkuru kwa Kevin Onkoba kabananjwe kwa mwari na Ayaatekire Chinsa Ikomi ya Kisi TV. Chinsa Ikomi ni goto chakurwa ase obugatagati mu Kibosongo mayaga yabonchuriria abakoro bonchurwa basekiro ya daraja 2 egotoka se county ya Kisi kumurungane kubatkana amone daraja iyo egosoa katikati echire iyo kotaba engia nigo omoteneri anamono bwe municipality yo mu Kibosongo asereta hafna ondara mu chama aberika gwesokia na gotemna nigo obwagachi bwe daraja yubwa chakiriri mulyoka na nigo burachikwara inse yechiwiki isato okwana chinga kechiboigo nigo omoske mu chama aberika kumwira ningambiya mono mugavana bwe county ya Kisi omoske Paul Simbarati asokubwato kachibesa ninchiremo yokoroisia edaraja yu erikorobya obosombi na boigo obonchirira comment kana ase county ya Kisi ninchiremo yokonekinga abonchirira babiri bakoro bonchirira bwabo erigwa kana ebango erachiko konya ukinia county ya Kisi kemagendero
etankoro ku afna ndara muchama manager Kisi municipality ndaitu kwana regoro ye edaraja eri amagurire connect between agese byase bikono amane chireri eri kemukeri daraja yu nja tware shida kabosa ekareta risk in terms yo tambuka municipality mtua nigienchera turu mugabano to Paul Simbarati tukanyora chinu sinkego edindire nyare koroswa etumekebuya edinda batumekibe pageyo batume babwatobore na ngende to kwanega contractor na on site uchakire gas andi gotumweta matukwa chiwiki isatuiga anyare gukure aseyu idinde abatumiki bechireria daraja 2 banyo
tokwirana asensemo enderi tkolia rero nigo umwaziri blue economy and mining umuske Ali Hassan Joho nyakabo kumirana amono mokonyi bumurayibwensi ya Kenya umuske Professor Abraham Kithure Kindiki okwana chinga kecho nigo umuske Professor Kindiki aberika otamna nigo barachiko gendera kubwaterana mone wizare ya blue economy and mining elikwana kinga babiri baukini sector
health risks which artisanal miners are facing, security risks, and we needed to clean up that space. We also needed to aggregate them, because aggregating people around value chains, cooperatives in different value chains is one of the models of the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. In agriculture, we are aggregating farmers in cooperatives. There are areas which traditionally have done well, like coffee and maybe tea. But we are doing cooperatives in other value chains, in cotton, edible oils. And therefore, even for fisheries, blue economy and mining, we must aggregate all the players in cooperatives. That way, government programs run better, more smoothly, impact is achieved greater. There is also economies of scale, because if they are scattered, they are doing little things all over the place, we will not be able to accelerate the impact we want to create across the country.
For mining to have an impact on an economy, we must have large-scale mining. So
yes, commercial
mining. So for far too long, we have had to focus on the artisanal practices without aggregation. So we don't even have monitoring capability to know what is extracted. But I want to assure you, for the first time, we've been able to interest
Murato kwirana asense mwende ritko liarero nigo mugavana bwe county ya Trans Nzoia Muske George Natembea omwari abekubyara abwase boigo anyakobo gwikigwa ase ensemelia EACC munenchiremo yokulikia roboti korengana amona bokili bae abatanchirwa gosoa asenseme ya EACC nigo babere bagotemna nigo baganyerete komanya nabo kuigwa ekira okobikukwae byara.
Our client to the EACC headquarters, but unfortunately we are not allowed by the EACC officers to access our client. They say that they have brought him for statement recording, but is not allowed to access any legal facility by the EACC. When we ask them why we are not able to access the client, they are saying that the director in charge of investigation is yet to decide whether or not the client or the advocates will access their clients. So that's the current situation as we are here at the EACC. They have locked in our client. The client is inside here. But we're not able to access him or even to give him any legal counsel on all what the processes that are currently undertaking. Yeah, we'll keep on briefing you on the progress. Yeah.
Okay,
yes.
Everything summoned or was he arrested?
Sorry?
Was he summoned to come?
No, he was arrested. He was arrested. They arrested him this morning. They never issued any summons to that effect.
Just
so
where did they arrest him?
In his residence at Nairobi. But the unfortunate thing is that they are not allowing the advocates to access the clients. And that is a constitutional right that is
Rachinga kia gende tukwane kigwa kurwa sensemi into gende kunyakabato kubwatia mangana mange sana gende tukwane kigwa maiga yukubi kubira kwae Muske George Natembea uyuro mugavana bwe county ya Trans Nzoia tokwira na asense mwende munenchira ya moyo gukina ebirengo bicinguru cyomurero litko lyarero nigo umwaziri otenerete amangana ne cinguru cyomurero gose energy and petroleum Muske Opiyo Wandai nigabereka otamna niga serikali begetemero bulisende goika omwaka bukiri bubere 2022 kwane kinga kiro mu Kenya wabiriga konyora estima nana boni go Muske Opiyo abiriga koboria abakenya koba abatora na kogendera kubwatesia serikali yo Muske Dr. William Samuel Ruto.
You'll recall that for the period between 2018 and 2022 and with the attendant strategic plan for that period, the ministry was able to register a number of significant achievements within its programs and projects. And the success in this regard is to a large extent owed to the support from the government, of Kenya, development partners, private sector players, and all other relevant stakeholders. I will also recall that during that period, we were able to come up with the Energy Policy 2018, which is currently under review. In fact, we are basically at the tail end. Similarly, the Petroleum Policy 2018, the Kenya National Energy Efficiency and Conservation Strategy 2020, the Bioenergy Strategy 2020, among other policy documents. And similarly, the Energy Act 2019 and the Petroleum Act 2019 were enacted during that time in a bid to strengthen policy, legal, and institutional frameworks for the energy and petroleum sectors. In addition, a number of regulations have been developed since then, in line with these two statutes. And we must thank EPRA very much for taking the lead in this very worthy endeavor.
Rachinga kia gende tukwane kigwa kurwa senseme yonigo igatia barai bali ase serikali wagendere teko mochia chinkwana chiyo kabiro mokonyi bo muraibwensi ya Kenya Muske Geoffrey Rigadi Gachagua osibobo chorebo nebo mwaka 2027 abange nigo babiri bagotemna chinkwana icho nchiringia echo kiranya kwa bachigo segeta segikwana kigwa ime yensi ya Kenya.
And any leader who purports that in 2027 will be bloodshed, there will be crashes. That leader is not worthy to stand in front of anybody to utter such kind of words. Because peace of a nation is extremely important. Wale ambao wameathirika na vita ndio wanajua vita ni mbaya. Zile nchi ambazo zimeathirika na vita If you go to those countries, you see the state of war, the state of crisis up to today. Go to, I don't want to mention those countries. Lakini ukienda hapa South Sudan, uende Somalia, uende Rwanda, uende Burundi, na nchi zile zingine katika Afrika ambazo zimepigana, hata kama zimepigana 10-20 years ago, hizo nchi zinakaa vibaya. Kwa hivyo kiongozi ambaye anasimama anasema ati 2027 sijui ukienda namna gani utakuwa na fiti. Huyo ni kiongozi anaanza tumuombee, aguswe na Roho Mtakatifu, fikra zake zikuwe sawa sawa.
Chinga kiagenda twana kigwabo igoni gomuske Isaac Maura abere gatia barai bari bagenderete kugikeria egatia barai bari bagenderete gutwara chinkwana ekiranya ko bakigosegeta kisegi bosibo bachore bona bomwako 2027 okwana chinga kecho ni gomuske Maura abere gakoboria abarai gochia kurigire chinkwana baukwanira abana inchi ninchiremo yokwaniki ngababiri bakuraria omurembe na koboria abana inchi kogendera kubotesia serikali yomuske Dr. William Samoei Ruto.
I mean, then how do you make it that as an individual can have that kind of money? It's totally unacceptable. I think some of these things are outlandish and they had to be called out because they are meant to incite Kenyans against the government and its programs, because people are now seeing that the government, having taken painful decisions initially, now they are starting to yield. These programs are starting to work. If you look at, for example, tomorrow, we shall have the affordable housing, the first time that we'll have keys that will be handed over by none other than His Excellency the President at Mukuru. It's now no longer Mukuru slums, it's Mukuru estate, you know? And you can see the people of Riara village are very happy. 13,248 units are up. And 1,080 people will receive their keys already. Over 970 of those units have been verified and the ownership. So, and there are great Kenyans there who are celebrating. So Kenyans are invited.
Kimura chinga kiagenda twana kigwa kurwa senseme iyo tari entunde ntanga nigose ya kabere chiro ya gikomba yegotoka imeyo mucho Nairobi ko bwato amurero nigikati abonchire kurwa senseme iyo bagendrete ko barera sara yende maega yo murro mutindi gwateka asenseme iyo ne nibe nyinge gosira okwana chinga kecho nigikati abonchire ababiri bakoboria serikali ya county ya Nairobi ochia komenta chigali chiyo kolimia amurero munenchiremo yogokonya enibo iyo yabereke gosirira asenseme iyo nabo igeke gucha kimurroiga ngelgo chia kiamanyikana.
Initial reports, it's like the fire emanated from one of the stores, and it is yet to be established the real cause.
So moto imeleta building yote chini pamoja, of course na zile mizigo zilikuwa ndani yake, na I think ile hasara tumepata leo is a lot of money, cause considering kuna mzigo na kuna building ya yenyewe.
The county officials who had come here and they promised that they are going to request the county to supply us with some materials, mambati, nini. But as you know, sometimes mambo ya serikali inasonga pole pole. So normally what happens, kukichomeka unakuta traders wanajijengea. Hapa kwetu this is the third time now. It's the third time specifically this area, lakini kuna wakati Gikomba ilikuwa imechomeka yote all the way. So hiyo ilichoma yote, even the other time. But today is the third time, na ni hapa tu kwetu kumechomeka.
Visa kama hizi zinaweza tuzuiliwa na security ikiwa tu mzuri. Gikomba unajua, of course hatufai kuwa na watu usiku wanatembea ovyo ovyo. We only need to have a security team.
Nchumure ya yine gati ya ringere to kwariganiria asensemelia Ayaatekire Chinsa Ikomi Chinsa nyechobut kwarero chinga kiabari kibaito ba mangana mayaba begete kambi ime na isko yorogonguro busiko ne kinga wanyorore chikoraga Chinsa Ikomi Chinsa nya gwanchira kondu gwansi gotayo nchenkoro kwa Kevin Onkoba.
Aya na Ayaatekire